Well, every day brings new reasons to examine Europe's identity and the pressure that populism and the far right are exerting on its politics. At the weekend, it was Sweden's turn. Almost 1 in 5 voters supported a party with its roots in neo-Nazism. Today, we'll see the governments of Hungary and Italy pushing back at criticism of their anti-immigration policies. We'll hear from Viktor Orban. He appeared at the European Parliament in Strasbourg. But first of all, to Italy, where 2 populist parties formed a new government this year. Both have risen from the political fringe to power on the back of an anti-immigration rhetoric. The Interior Minister of Italy, Matteo Salvini, has become the face of the government, and he's been allowed to turn back boats full of migrants, saying you are not coming ashore in Italy. He's also threatened to stop paying the EU budget unless responsibility for new arrivals is shared more evenly with other countries. He also said in a widely reported statement that Italy will not become Europe's refugee camp. Well, what's happening in the Mediterranean is impacting on policies and politics all over Europe. We've seen anti-immigrant parties making electoral gains across the continent. We've highlighted some of the countries where that's happened. Much of the shifts have been connected to the migrant crisis of 2015 and 2016. At the weekend in Sweden, almost 18% of voters supported the Sweden Democrats, which is a far-right party with its roots in neo-Nazism. Or we could talk about Austria. Its leader, its Chancellor Sebastian Kurz, a 31-year-old, has gone into coalition with the far-right Freedom Party. And you can see if I switch the titles of these countries to the percentages these parties are picking up in recent elections. We could also talk about France, we could talk about the Netherlands, we could talk about Denmark and Germany. They've all seen a jump in support for nationalist and anti-immigration parties. And then there's Hungary. With Viktor Orban, that's the leader of Austria, that's the leader of Hungary. He won a landslide victory, and his campaign again focused on immigration. One of his policies, though, has caused huge controversy: a new law that criminalises lawyers and activists who help asylum seekers. And today, that was under scrutiny in the European Parliament in Strasbourg, where members of the Parliament considered disciplinary action against Hungary. Well, how you describe what's happening in Europe depends on who you ask. This is The Economist offering its analysis, saying the divisions in Europe are between the flat white sipping liberals in Berlin versus the nativists of northern Italy and Hungary. We also spotted this on the website of the Brookings Institute in Washington, suggesting the rise of populism is opening the door to increased Russian influence.